Welcome back into the final play, and now we're talking Hornets basketball, and I got my good friend Monty Williams here, head coach of the Hornets, and you are into an off season, which is, for once, a normal off season. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's been really cool to get away. Even though I hate being out of the playoffs, I had some time to study the games a little bit, and at the same time spend some time with my family. Had a lot of meetings with Dell and Hugh and our coaches, and we get our young guys back in this week, start our player development program on Tuesday. But I don't know, I don't know if I'm a junkie or not, but I just feel like I need to be coaching and working, and watching teams play right now, it kind of burns me up a little bit.
Well, and it burns up the rest of the guys too. I mean, we talked to Jason Smith a couple of weeks ago, and he said, we'd much rather be in the playoff fray. But you still have to kind of be proud of the effort that your team put forward with all the stuff you guys had to go through last season.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of credit for something that our guys set in their minds that they were going to do from the start. When we made the trade early in the year, at the beginning of the season, our guys looked at that as an opportunity. And guys like Jason Smith, Jared Jack, Marco, they thought that they would make a run and try to make the playoffs. They didn't care what the situation looked like. And so from that standpoint, it made my job a ton easier, having those guys as the leaders of our team. And so, I want to make it for them. I want to make it for myself. I want to make the playoffs for the city. And we want to win a championship someday.
As you look forward, how much is the experience of last season for your players and for you and your coaching staff going to help you moving ahead?
I think last year was more important than the first year because we got a chance to see what we really had going forward. During a tough time, you get to see everybody's true colors. Got a chance to see who our real fan base was, and we realized we had a good fan base here. People really support our team, and I learned a ton. You learn so much during adversity that you can't choreograph in any other time. And so off the court stuff was the toughest thing for me, dealing with issues off the floor, and then on the floor, just grinding out wins, any win we could get, playing close games. You can't replace that. So for me, going forward, looking at my notes, my mental notes, I'm so much more prepared going forward because of last year, because of the adversity, because of the different changes and adjustments we had to make.
Well, people that don't know basketball don't understand the fact that you can't just throw the ball out on the floor. Some teams can do that because they have the players to do that. You did not have to do that. So every day you had to come to work, you and your staff.
Right. Yes, our staff, I wouldn't be as calm or as prepared if I didn't have those guys working the way that they work. I mean, a lot of people who are in leadership tend to worry about the people around them, and I don't have that. Our guys work diligently. I got to kick them out of the office. I went in Friday around noontime just to check and see who was going to be there, and there were two guys there, Kevin and Dave, that shouldn't have been there. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Go home. There's nothing to do right now. There's no tape to watch, just go home. But that's who they are. And if not for our staff working the way that they work and understanding the vision that Hugh put in place, we wouldn't be in this position. I know the wins don't look like it, but I think we're in a great position with our draft picks, with a star like Eric, excited about coming back, the veterans we have, and some cap flexibility, not to mention Mr. Benson owning our team. We're in a good spot.
You got great stability now. You've got ownership. You've got local ownership. You know you're going to have that. Eric, you didn't have most of the season, so that's almost like getting a draft pick when you come in. And there's a possibility you can get one or two lottery picks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a good year for you guys.
It's a good year, but
potentially,
we have to make some really good decisions. This potentially could be the biggest summer in Hornets history as far as making the right decisions, picking the right guys, coaching those guys, and developing those guys. Whether we keep both picks, whether we trade one of them, they're all possibilities, but they're all decisions that we have to make. And it's more exciting now than it was my first year because we have some light now that we're kind of shooting for. There were so many clouds when I first took the job, and there were good clouds. I mean, there were, anytime you're in the NBA, count yourself blessed. But at the same time, there were some things going on that we really couldn't put our feet in the ground and say, okay, this is where we're digging in, because things were changing. Now we have an owner, we have a vision that's in place now that's not going to change. And we have leadership with you, Weber, that's going to help us get there.
And the one thing that I've appreciated about you since getting to know you is that the fact that you've been able to remain centered throughout this whole thing. Your focus has been on defense. Your focus has been on no excuses. And I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen going forward.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as the coach, they pay me a lot of money to get the job done. And I try not to waver from that. I mean, if it doesn't work out, it's all on me. And I don't mind that. I've talked to the players about, if you don't feel pressure, that's not where you want to be. If you're feeling pressure, that's where we want to be. And we want the pressure to go up. And so the Lord's blessed me with that focus. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I can go home to my wife and kids, and that's not all that bad. So, but if it does work out and we get this city excited about basketball and thinking about a championship, this could be one of the coolest places you ever want to be in sports.
I like that. And you got two of your five here. Come on over, guys.
Hey, come on, y'all.
Come here. These are the two little ones, two of the five. What's your name? Elijah. And? Jana. Okay. So that's what keeps you going.
Yeah, they do. He's starting in basketball. She loves basketball and track. And all my kids have been pretty good students thanks to my wife.
Yes.
No thanks to me. And I'm very blessed to have, not only kids who, they're goofy kids like any other parents' kids, but they really support what we do. They love my job. They love being at the games. And my wife is a rock because she has to put up with me and the kids. So
I know that feeling.
I'm the oldest kid in the house for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with my final word right after this. Thank you, guys.